Hello, this is Suzanne Porske. I am with Phoenix Financial Group. Thank you for joining us today. You are listening to Dime to Diamonds. I have today with me
Mark Farquhar with Phoenix Financial Group.
Yes, we are your retirement specialists. It is fun to be here again back in the studio.
Yeah.
We have had quite the road so far. Let's see, we're in June.
Right.
And can you believe we're coming up on the half year mark? This is when we get to see a lot of our clients and do a check-in.
Right.
Where they're at now, in relation to where we set their, where they set their anticipation for this year, kind of make sure, just kind of that, get out of the car, stretch around, make sure, stretch, make sure everything's still intact and that we're in the right, and check it in to see what's happened, what's, financially for them.
Right.
If they've had any inheritance or bonuses or, on the other, we've had some families, their houses have been hit by tornadoes or other things. So, we're going to talk about today the blog that is on phx.financial. We pour a lot of heart and soul into educating our clients because we want to empower you. We don't want to just talk at you. We want to talk with you. We want to give you resources, that are helpful and reliable when we're not there, maybe to answer the phone, or you want to look at something at night or on the weekends. And so I'm going to encourage you to check out our blogs, check out the website. We're always putting great
phx.financial.
Yes. Our workshops are always in there under events. We've kind of taken a little bit of a break over summer. It's kind of hard with kids, grandkids, and all the events, not just for us and our staff, but also for the attendees.
It seems like spring and summer's crazy time for kids.
Yeah.
With all their stuff going on.
Right.
Graduations. And
so we'll pick up back that our events will be updated with some new workshops come fall.
Right.
So believe it, we'll be here before we know it. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the four most dangerous words in investing, which are
this time it's different. So so people, I think this talks about consistency in our investment, being consistent, not just I think we make an excuse, it'll be different this time. And then we talk about the market being different when we're going to talk about some stuff here where it's been pretty consistent over the long period of time. So,
we have some clients, they want to ride it all in one stock.
Yeah.
It hit big for them. And they're like, when it takes a hit, and I'm talking about NVIDIA, they're like, oh, it'll be different this time. It's going to go up more. And that's great. She's got a husband that's still working and she's got stability that way financially. So if you want to put it all on red and you've got someone else and let it ride, the roulette table, that's fine. That's not how we roll in our office.
Nope.
We are very strategic, tax efficient, generationally planning for your wealth to be transferred. And so letting it ride on red is not our motto.
Right.
No, we do say expect excellence and trusted advice, and that's what we give. Yes, and the person who says that, like John Templeton famously warned, the four most dangerous words in investing are this time it's different. We can see though, since 1980, the S&P 500 index has experienced an annual drawdown greater than 5% every single year, except for in 1995
and 2017.
Right, those are the only 2 years it has not had that drawdown.
Right.
But in 75% of those years there was a drawdown, there was still an uptick. It went ahead. So that average intra-year drawdown from 1980 to 2020, negative 13.7.
Yeah.
That was the average intra-year, meaning sometime in that year it averaged to go down 13.7. Why is this important for you that's in retirement or going into retirement? Because when you're accumulating, you can do those ups and downs. When your time horizon is long, you can do that. You can take those. And if you're in a 401k at an employer, you don't have a lot of say.
Yeah.
You get to pick whether it's retirement 2030 or, a bond fund or something like that, money market. The real game starts when you retire. Now you need to make that money work harder for you than you did for it. You need to strategically tax plan because they've never been taxed assets before. You can't have a downturn. You can't take negative 13.7 and take your monthly withdrawal off of it.
Yeah.
And then decide halfway through in the intra month that you want to now change strategies without proper planning. So The long-term average return for the S&P was 10.5. Since 1957, that annual long-term average return that's good. And I know for us, we try to shoot between 10 and 16% portfolio growth on our clients. So, market corrections are normal.
Yeah, we see kind of like the cycle. They go in cycles, and we saw one here recently in April, and it's already kind of corrected itself back. It's getting close to back, I think, to where we were. Some things.
Okay, so somebody takes $5,000 out in that correction.
That's a big. I mean, that's what we're talking about. People about to retire are still sitting in there in the market, and you have that huge correction.
And then they take it out.
Long-term wise, it's not. You can make it through the dips, but if you've got somebody that's sitting here fixing to retire,
well, okay,
or taking income, like you said, it's going to be a huge deal.
The client that had the variable annuity that her paycheck kept,
right?
She's like, I literally can't have it go any lower than $1,100 a month.
Budget, everything.
It's affecting her sleep. It was affecting her budget because she was participating in the downside. She loved uptick. She loved when those when those paychecks came back a little more.
Yeah.
It's when you're in the market and you're creating a paycheck off of it. It's working for an unstable.
Yeah. And another thing we heard this year was with Trump being in there, everybody was like, I'm going to go get into, aggressive stocks and all that. You just don't know what's going to happen. And you can't do that when you're during retirement or coming up on your retirement.
Well, and so I was telling one of our clients, it's like turning a train around.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. Like it or not, I'm not here to talk politics. I'm just here to say, you think what he's going to do is great. What he's done is good, bad, and different. I'm just saying that you can't in our market have any type of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because I feel like influence the whole world.
Yeah.
And so then you see the other markets doing that. So long-term investing always wins. And we tell people that the long game, we're going to get into in this blog, the dollar cost averaging.
Mm-hmm.
If you just stay consistent.
Right.
I was just reading something by Dave Ramsey. I think he posted $200 a month starting at
when you're young. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I think he said 18 or something, but you do that and he's like 3 point whatever million. Like you're
right. And those young people, we had some in the other day. I said, it's so important to get that habit into your budgeting to where you're paying yourself for investing money, because you get a lot of people that come in here and they're like 50 going, hey, I don't have anything. What do I need to do? Well, it's going to be $3,000, $4,000 a month to try to get something going. But if you start just with $200 a month,
right,
when you're young and you just keep doing that, even on the downside, that dollar cost averaging, when the market's down and you're buying that,
you're buying lower.
Yeah. Right. You're buying lower, buying more shares or more of the stock.
Right.
It's getting more shares in there. And then when it comes back up, boom, it takes off for you. So,
on that, in the first part of that blog, I put on here, the market returns over time. The 1 year range was -37 to +53.
Crazy.
That is a ride. I'm not kidding. That makes me sick. When you're talking about retirement assets, that's nauseating. That's why I'm such a proponent of, yes, you do have to have some of that exposed. Maybe in a money market, I'm more consistent and more conservative.
But that's just that education and planning part. If you're coming up a couple years, 3 or 3 years before you're thinking about retiring, you've got to get your money arranged correctly. So,
well, and we talk about you
get that -37.
Yeah. -37. Yeah. People go, oh my gosh, it was up 53%. And that reminds me of the people that are like, oh my gosh, I won at the casino. You hear that. They never get on Facebook or social media and go, I just lost my paycheck, or I just dropped whatever, how many hundreds or thousands of dollars. I'm like, we hear the wins and I like that.
Yeah.
But then you also have the downside. So market went up 53%. It went down 37 as well. So over that time frame, I hear a lot of people talk about the bear and the bull market. And one of the best ways I can explain that to people is bear is when you're hugging. That's when we're being conservative. A bull market is going up. And so people are like, oh, we're in a bear market. We're conservative. Everything's flat. Well, bear markets historically are shorter lived than the bull markets. And that's what we put in the blog. I've kind of put in some, for those that are watching this here, I printed this off. We put in a graph in there so you can see that Oh, there's about, let's see, 150 months of up 582%. Average return on a bull market's 182%. Average return on a bear market is down 36. Average duration of a bull market is that 63 months.
Right.
Your bear market, the average is about 14 months, but Schwab Center for Financial Research, that's where that chart came from. So also, did you see where like it says don't miss the market's best days, trying to time the market
where you can take advantage of those the down days, take advantage of the 78% of the best days happen during or shortly after bear markets. And then missing just the 10 best days over the past 30 years halves your returns.
Mm-hmm.
And then missing the 30 best days erases 83% of potential gains. So
78% statistically of the best days happen during or shortly after a bear market.
Right. And that's going to happen quick because the bear markets don't last that long. So
right. And then if you just missed the 10 best days over those 30 years, that's half your return. That's crazy.
That is.
Missing the 30 best days out of that same. That's huge.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on, and I put it on the blog, dollar cost averaging. Could you simply tell us what that is?
It's investing equal amounts at regular intervals, so that I'll just say $500 a month, and you just stay with it. You don't do it when the market's going up or down. You just do it every time, no matter what's going on. You just have that discipline of keeping that money going in there on a regular monthly
right.
time. So yeah, I mean,
and it helps manage volatility and emotions. You're just putting it in.
Right.
I think it's really useful during uncertain times. Right. Better than dollar cost averaging is definitely lump sum investing, which statistically we put in here, it outperforms the dollar cost averaging 75% of the time.
10-year period. Yeah.
So that's like every single year you're like, okay, I don't know about January being a great month because usually people are just coming off Christmas and getting ready for taxes, but pick a month.
Yeah.
And say, okay, this is the month. Maybe put in every single month into a savings, something, and then take that lump sum and put it in
there. Right.
Like I said, the statistics, and that's what we put in.
It requires discipline to do it. So if you're just consistent, that's what's.
And I put on here tip: consult a financial advisor.
Yeah.
To determine what's best for your goals, because every single person, and I get asked that a lot.
Yeah. What's
good these days? What's happening? What should I do? It's like, that's no way.
Yeah.
I have questions. I heard somebody at BNI ask, he's a financial advisor as well. He goes, we're the GPS system of people financially. Where do you want to go? Where are you at right now?
Right.
That's really what a GPS does. And that's what we do.
That's right.
And I love meeting with our clients, not only because I love our clients like family, but also those mid-year reviews that we're coming up on. Hey, what's going on? Where are you at? What are the kids doing?
Right. It's amazing how things may change in a 6-month period for people. You never know. So
I just told you that this morning. There's been 3 people in the last now 8 days that thought they would be here this week. They are not. One in his 50s was, didn't show up for work on Monday. They did a wellness check. Goodness. Tuesday, the police said, he was in bed, kind of groggy. They left him. It took him till Friday, finding next to kin, because nobody would go in there. And the smell came Thursday night, and then Friday his sister flew out and found him. And that brings me to like the whole importance of estate planning. But so people, plan as if you aren't going to be here. You may prepare as if you aren't going to be here, and let's plan that you're going to live a long time. Right. I mean, I think it's a healthy balance. Like these meat suits don't last.
There's 2 ways: the estate planning plan as if you might not be here, and then your investments plan like you're going to be here a while.
So I say all that to say about the 3 people is that now there's financial impact to the other families.
Right.
Some are going to be receiving lump sum distributions off of savings and life insurance plans. Others are now planning financially how they're going to take care of this during probate because estate planning wasn't done. They're going to have to get an attorney, go before the judge, and all that costs money. And if they don't have money, then they're going to need to pony up an asset that attorneys can put a lien on to get paid at some point. That was the other thing that came up is, if you don't already have your funeral arrangements taken care of and paid for, this one that was found, the medical examiner, is 6 months out for a death certificate. What do you need to get life insurance proceeds?
Death certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, and then just people don't want to wait that long to go through that mourning and grieving process. And
it's a tough time. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Back on to task here. The importance of diversification. We tell people that 1985 to 2024, there was 9 different asset classes that were top performers in various years, and 6 different classes ended at the bottom. And people, when we talk about classes or indexes, you're talking like S&P 500, the top 500 companies, the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000. Those are your small cap companies, the top 2000. When we talk about indexes or QQQ, Invesco.
They're just a bunch of groups of those different companies or different sectors that you can invest in.
Right. So, and that's what they're talking about. There was 9 different asset classes that were top performers in those various years, but 6 of those classes ended up at the bottom. And that's why it's so dang important to get financially organized and keep an eye out. And if you're not keeping an eye out, get a relationship with a firm like ours where we are keeping an eye out.
You have to review that at least every once a year, review how it's allocated within the plans. So,
and then once somebody retires the year before getting into retirement, and then that first year, man, I like to touch base with them at least quarterly. Some of them hear from me a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that everything's going on task. Like, have you decided to spend more money? Are you taking a trip that you didn't even think about before?
Right.
Are you wanting to build a music room?
And it's interesting because you that's part of the planning is what big items do you have coming up purchasing? Like, you run into somebody, well, we need a roof, we need a car. I mean, that's part of the planning. We need to know that stuff.
Right. When you have diversification, you can take it out of more liquid assets and leave the bigger ticket ones that we have in that play.
Right.
And it can continue to accumulate, but that's the importance of diversification, having a plan.
Right.
Kind of think of it as a road trip. You have your snacks to get you through to the big stops, big meals.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah, we kind of talk here about what should they do next.
Stick with that strategy. I mean, just like it says, be consistent, have a plan and stick to it. No matter what's going on in the market, you got to stick to it. And then if you're closer in, depending on your horizon, you need to do your planning accordingly as well.
Right.
So keep in touch with your advisor, at least on an annual basis. So
manage the withdrawals. I have people that they go, oh, I want to go ahead and take out of my 401k. Talk to somebody, do all the scenarios.
Can I pull that out of my IRA?
No. Right. Because you're taking that purchasing power and you're reducing it. You're using never before tax money.
Right.
The government wants their money. They want to tax it. Is there a better play out there for it? And could you borrow your own money?
Yeah.
Because some 401ks, if you had 100,000 and you took 25 out, you're still earning on the 100,000 and you have borrowed money from yourself.
Right.
Not to get in the weeds, but
yeah,
that's where we tell people, let's talk. Let's run all the scenarios.
Because one is different. You've got to comb through your assets and figure out a strategy.
I like the people that we've talked to. They go, we're just going to do this and I need to do it, but yes, I'll come in. What are you doing? Starting a new business? Well, why don't we have you do a self-directed IRA and open a business with it and use those never before tax money on this new business, so you're not getting the taxation on it.
Yeah.
You're able to manage it, work hand in hand with the CPA, Rochelle Harp at Harp Accounting that we have in our office. Even though she has her own office, we love that she comes here
Oh,
for
yeah,
our clients and meets them. But focus long term.
Right.
We have right now some clients that were so focused long term. Now we're trying to reel them back in. We're like, you're good.
Let's
You
take care
have
of what you have.
millions.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes. Social Security's mad at you. You have to take it.
True.
Yeah, because there are some people that do get so hyper focused and have been so diligent. We've got to teach them how to play now and enjoy life and diversify because they've locked things real tight. And so definitely history's on their side because despite the wars and the recessions and the crashes and S&P 500 has delivered that 10.5% average
since 1957.
1957.
Those that stayed disciplined were rewarded during that time period. So interesting, good stuff.
Right. And I find people that, they work with the same person and if you work for the same person and you've been in the accumulation mode of it, maybe ask them, so how are we going to pivot?
Yeah.
How are we going to pivot now that I'm in retirement? Because it's not just about accumulation anymore. Right. It is about generationally. It is about taxes. We are a one-stop shop. Right. We will make sure we will listen. We're going to ask the important questions. I believe the foundation to anything financially is having your living trust, a revocable living trust in place, medical directives, durable power of attorney. How
important that is. I mean, that's just part of taking care of your family.
And then people say, well, I've had that done. I had it done like 10 years ago.
The will's not good enough. So.
Well, and people go, why not? Because the only way to transfer title is in a house or, they do have transfer on death on cars, but without probate is a trust avoids probate. Everything else, you've just opened yourself. You've opened your family up to going before a judge and having him listen to all the stories.
It's just that part of our financial organization. You've laid out your plan and everything, how you want it carried out before you're gone. And it just makes we've seen it both ways. You've seen it this week both ways. And it's just so much easier when you do that.
It's $700. It's $700 for the peace of mind.
Right.
We should raise the prices on this, but we only charge what it costs us in the software and the content, putting it all together with the tabs.
But there's no excuse to not to get it done now. It's not $5,000 or $3,000. It's $700, and it's medical directives, power of attorney.
And everything is right here. Yeah. And hopefully they, and I know our clients do because I bring this in with them, but we created these tabs in here with Binder Tech. And so the life insurance, they don't have to go around digging for it. There's a tab for it. There's a tab for it. Any personal property, any location list, like, hey, this is where this stuff is at.
So you could literally put all your stuff right there in that
bank statement
for something happens, they're organized
all over the place or waiting for the mail. Right now, I have a client who had a family member pass away, and they're like, we just wait for the mail to see what's gonna transpire because we don't know where everything is at.
Right.
And it's coming through the statements and going, okay, this is a deduction from MetLife, calling MetLife, proving who you are, proving who they were, sending them the death certificate to see what it was, and then finding also, we have people that go through the filing cabinets and find old policies.
Right.
And they have to call.
I had a gentleman come in, his wife passed away over a year ago, and he kept getting this auto draft for Prudential, and it was a small life insurance $10,000 policy, but he just goes, I keep getting, got on the phone with him, found out what it was, did the claim form right there with him, and he got his check a few weeks later. So
yes, we just had some.
Didn't know though. It wouldn't,
right.
Anyway, it's just nice to have that for your family and be organized. So,
anyway. Well, and I know for us, like I had somebody that HR person reached out and she goes, I know that there was people, I know that this lady had the extra benefits, accident, cancer, critical illness, but she retired a long time ago. And now her son is trying to find out information on it. If you have all that, you just put it in your folder. So you're making it, you're handing a completed
You could
puzzle.
literally take that folder and come to your advisor or somebody, and it's all right there, and you can start,
I don't know about you. I know my family knows this binder. They know where it's at. We've even had a couple of questions when we went overseas. My husband and I'm like, I know you know, but I need to ask you. To my daughter, you know where this is at. And if anything was to happen, and it's not just if you pass away. This is if something happens and you get sick or in an accident.
Right.
Had somebody that was driving a motorcycle very carefully not even a week ago, and got bumped.
Right.
And fight for their life, and the family are the friends and organized, but this person isn't. Now they're trying for medical to give that, but they're also arguing with other people, and so now the hospital gets to pick who they're going to listen to on the care of this human. So if you want to make sure that you have an advocate in somebody carrying out your desires and your wishes,
right, come see us.
yes, get your medical directives in place. And if you want, this other person is intubated right now, and they're trying to file all the paperwork with their work, and nobody can sign because they don't have a durable power of attorney. With somebody at BNI, the guy was sitting there and fell over. They thought he had a seizure, ended up being a stroke, came back from that and was at the hospital and had a massive heart attack. And so all this to say, their hands are tied. And so the theory is, oh, he's married his wife. No, the doctors don't know if you guys are married, going through a divorce. Right. I had my biological father had a girlfriend of 17 years, and my father went into a coma. He got food poisoning from Mexican food up in Oregon. And she said that she was the wife, and they believed her. And somebody at the hospital 2 days into it looked through his charts and said, no, he's not married. Who is this woman? I get a call because I'm next to kin. Is this his wife? No.
My goodness.
And so that I'm telling you, hospitals just don't always take you at your word. And if they do, they're going to do some due diligence. So again, be prepared. We never know. Life.
Yes, when things happen.
Life happens. So, well, this has been a short and sweet little talk today and a podcast. I think, get on our website and dabble around, look around.
That estate planning, there's a page on the estate planning there too that's got a lot of good information on there.
To redo that video. I was enjoying some donuts back then. Actually, it was glasses of wine. Yes, it's still same relative information. It's timeless information. It's all the same. Put somebody in charge of your stuff in the event something happens to you and you can't. And that's another thing. People go, oh my gosh, I've heard so many bad things about trust. You lose control. No, you don't. No. You're the grantor. Yeah. You're everything.
Change it anytime you want to.
Yep.
So
you have an executor. You name the executor. What they do is execute your wishes.
Right.
When you can't, whether that is in Sorrento, Italy, and you want something done here, or you're sick, or anything.
Exactly.
So, durable power of attorney is the only power of attorney that works when somebody is incapacitated.
Right.
Everything else, all the springing and the regular one. And we are not attorneys. We do not practice law in this office. Those are just tools that you can even find yourself on the internet, Law Depot or any of those places. We have done enough of them. We've helped our clients enough over the years. We are more than happy to do that for you and put it in a binder. The other important thing with estate planning is funding it.
Exactly.
How many times have people come in here with a $5,000 estate plan and their house isn't in the trust? They didn't.
We help you with that. We'll help you fund it. We'll get your house.
Yes, a quick claim set in.
Deed over and everything. So we walk you through everything.
Beneficiaries changed on all your accounts. So the beneficiary is the trust. So it puts that executor in total control. So, well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Dime to Diamonds. Again, I am Suzanne Porske with Phoenix Financial Group.
I'm Mark Farquhar with Phoenix Financial Group.
Have a great rest of your day and month. Bye.